Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Russ back again with some more Madden 19 Ultimate Team. This is episode number 76, and today we got a big new pickup, man. 97 overall combine Patrick Peterson. You guys can see those stats. Easily one of the best corners in the game. 95 speed based on his card. If we do get into a power-up, he will be a 96 overall. My bad, I just clapped in the background. I don't know if you guys heard that. I don't know why. That's how excited I am. Just a random little clap. But you know what? Patrick Peterson, man, he is obviously a badass corner. A card that I do want to power up, but he's just way too expensive to power up. His 92 to 93 is like 400k from the last time I saw. It's probably cheaper now since the last time I looked, but I don't know. I don't think it's worth it to power up a card from, or if you have him as a 97, I don't think it's really worth it. I mean, it costs a lot, man, you know, especially to upgrade a card like Pat Pete. But you know what, later, if we decide to go ahead and upgrade him more and, you know, get him to a 98, so be it. But you know what, that's just not a card that I really want to invest in. Not easy to power him up and costs a lot of training. So not going to really worry about that one. And honestly, if I'm going to make like a power-up type move, it's probably going to be on offense more than defense, because 97 to 98 overall, he really going to notice the difference them playing, you know, computer-controlled. Anyway, man, Pat Pete, a big new upgrade. I'm very excited to have him. He's way faster than Richard Sherman at that #1 spot. He should be really good for us. I'm excited. Hopefully he plays well. You know, I'm not expecting him to get a ton of picks. I just want him to keep that side of the field quiet. So hopefully we'll see that in these games, man. But going into this game, you guys can see Russell Wilson on 2nd and 2, rushing for the first down for about 4 yards. I don't really run with my quarterback all that much, man. Like, okay, you guys know that. Like, that's not something new. But even with Russell, like, I got Russell for more speed so I could run more. I still don't run more, man. Like, I run the same amount I do with Otto, and right there, something that Otto, you know, he fumbled, man, but he definitely had a way lower chance of fumbling as Russell Wilson. When he gets hit like that, he's going to fumble, man. So unfortunately, we do end up fumbling the ball after a pretty decent first drive. So now this dude comes on offense, and of course he has Mr. Michael Vick. But just throw it at him, man. Why the fuck not? Bobby Wagner comes up with the interception. Thought we were going to get a pick 6 right there. Really close to being a pick 6. Luckily for him, we were taken down right here. We're looking, and we do find Eric Ebron, the man, the myth, the legend. Probably too soon to give him that nickname. But you know what? Eric Ebron has been really good for us. I'm having a lot of fun using that card, and maybe he should be called the man, the myth, the legend, because he ends up catching that high point in the back of the end zone. That was a hell of a catch by him. That was just one of those plays that, you know, the high points are so OP this year that I ran a curl in the back of the end zone, and I saw he had space. Basically, if you see the safety of the corners, like, really, really close to him, like within a yard, don't throw the high point. But if there's, like, you know, 2 or 3 yards of space, odds are he's going to get the animation. So, you know, we got that one. We got in to make it 7-0. So now this dude's back on offense. Obviously, his first drive did not go so well. He ends up getting sacked by Jerry Hughes, and this drive has not really started off that well either. You know, he gets pretty close to midfield, and then he ends up getting sacked, making it 2nd and 17. Then he finds Christian McCaffrey for a decent amount of yards to make it 3rd and 2, and he converts with his tight end to the 28-yard line. Man, all right, that was a pretty decent little string of plays by him here, man. You know, Jerry Hughes, after we got that sack, I was sure we were going to get the stop. I have a lot of confidence after we get a first down sack, but unfortunately, we give that up, and this dude continues to move inside the 10-yard line. He gets sacked by John Randall, who has been coming up really, really clutch lately, man. I mean, in the Miracle in Jerry World video, he had 4 sacks. I mean, John Randall's been a beast, and you know who else has been a beast since we've got him is Harrison Smith, man. Ends up laying the wood at the 1-yard line. That Harrison Smith has been a beast since we've got him, man. I mean, I really like that card. He seems to play the ball well. He's always around the ball, too. I just like ball hawking type safeties, and he seems like he's one of them, man. Him and Jamal Adams are probably going to be pretty damn good. I said it last episode of the previous episode. Whenever we got him, just going to be a mean safety combo, man. But, you know, we get back on offense. You know, unfortunately, we were not able to do anything with that forced fumble that we got because I throw a bad pick, man. Ended up, you know, ultimately I just chucked it down the field. Was trying to make something happen that really was not there, and I just made a bad read. So, unfortunately, we give this guy the ball back basically exactly where he was, and he does end up capitalizing to Calvin Johnson. That is a card I've also been looking at getting. Like, our receivers, man, our receivers are not great. You guys know that. We got Doug. That's pretty much it. I mean, he's the only receiver I really trust, so I am definitely looking to get a new receiver. I'm looking at the Combine guys, and I'm looking at Calvin Johnson as well, a card that I really am thinking about getting because I wanted a taller receiver, even though I like my shorter guys. But, you know, what are you going to do, man? It's just the way that, or the players that I like to have. It is what it is. But, you know, Calvin Johnson, getting a 6'5 receiver, I think could help us, so I'm thinking about getting him. We have the coins, so that'd be cool. Let me know what you guys think about that. It's 3rd and 7. Oh, boy. We tried to playmaker Doug Baldwin across the field, which ended up being picked. That was just a bad play by me again. Just making bad reads on offense, man. Not doing the right stuff. Not making the right reads. That's the ultimate thing. Just going downfield when I don't really need to go downfield. Being dumb. So, you know, ultimately, this game could be in our hands easily right now. We could have a multiple score lead, but we're being very dumb, and this dude has a chance to get back in it with Mike Vick, and you already know that Mike Vick, if you have Mike Vick, there's always a chance that he can make some crazy shit happen and get some plays. But, luckily we end up stopping this dude to a punt on 4th and 10. We get the ball at the 23-yard line with 48 seconds left in the second quarter. So we're trying to do something here, man. But right there, I'm not sure if that was batted down or if that hit Steve Hutch's head. I don't even know what that was, but looked weird. Right there, Jerry Rice does end up making the catch on the out route. He's good on those. 93 Jerry Rice, he's solid on those little out routes and stuff like that. But going downfield, like I said, I think we need somebody like Calvin. We end up getting sacked by Aaron Donald, make it 2nd and 16, looking downfield. Just don't really see anybody. End up playmakering. I'm not sure who that is. That is Doug Baldwin. Of course, it's fucking Doug Baldwin. I couldn't see who that was all the way down there, but he was wide open, man. I mean, once we playmakered him, it was just no contest. He was wide open. A huge chunk of field. I mean, we all know how devastating it can be to make a play last long enough to where you can playmaker somebody, man. That's all you have to do. You just have to have one receiver with playmaker and make the play last long enough, and you can break your fucking opponent's back. I mean, very easily, man. Right there, we end up getting 3 free points before half because of one playmaker to Doug Baldwin. We ran once just to, get a couple extra yards, but for the most part, that play, it gave us 3 points. So we'll take that, man, especially with the mistakes that we made in the first half. I feel like that kind of made up for it a little bit, with some of the points we probably should have got on the board. Getting that field goal before half makes up for it a bit. So right now, with the 3-point lead, I'm still not content. I can tell this dude can definitely get some stuff going, and he has Mike Vick, and you guys can see how often he's rolling out. So we can make these plays happen, man. I think he finds Hayden Hurst for a couple of yards, that 93 or something, ultimate freeze tight end for the Ravens. Ravens got a lot of tight ends, man. I mean, a lot. I think they actually put like Max Williams or something, one of their tight ends at fullback. I don't know if that's his actual position, but the fucking Ravens got a lot of tight ends, man. But anyway, the guy does end up punting on 4th and 6, 4th and 7, I believe. So we do get the ball back, obviously up by 3. We're just trying to run this clock a little bit, see if we can get the run game going with Gurley. 3rd and 2, we are forced to pass. Didn't really feel like running right there, and we do find Eric Ebron. I catch a lot of people, sleeping on Ebron, man. I mean, he's a 97 overall, easily our best receiver right now. I know he's a tight end, but he is our best receiver, and we're going to him a lot, and we find him a lot, man. For those little chunk plays, those little plays that get us first downs, they're huge, and sure enough, right here, we find him on a slant. He gets us another first down, gets us inside the 15 to the 12, 1st and 10, back to the run game with Gurley, and Todd Gurley fights his way into the end zone and puts us up 17-7. I mean, it's obviously safe to say that Todd Gurley is the heart and soul of our offense. We always just turn the ball to that dude or turn the game over to that dude and say, you know what, when we got a lead, we're trying to run with Todd Gurley, and most of the time he does end up just doing his Gurley thing, and he ends up doing it again, putting us up 17-7, and that ultimately does lead to a pick by Stephon Gilmore, man, and that was just an easy pick. He ends up chucking it way downfield. It was just sitting in the air way too long, and it was just up for grabs, and we end up getting it real easy. And right here, Jerry Rice, he frees up down the sideline to get us to the 6-yard line. We decide to run with Todd Gurley, obviously trying to get him another rushing touchdown. He has one already, a pretty good one, and a pretty damn good game by him so far. I think that said like 17 or 18 rushes. Oh no, 11 for 60. So I mean, a solid game, a touchdown, and then right there, Russell Wilson ends up ultimately vulturing his second one, but you know what, we'll take it. 23-7, it does end up forcing the rage quit, and we're going to go ahead and jump into game number 2. And in game number 2, I'm going to go ahead and continue to look at Pat Pete. Now, in this game, you probably didn't even notice, but Pat Pete didn't make a single play, and I'm happy about it. I mean, I didn't have to say his name once. He didn't get mossed. He didn't do anything. He ended up forcing the ball to go to Stephon Gilmore's side, and sure enough, Stephon Gilmore ended up coming up with at least one pick in that game. But Pat Pete, in that first game, I didn't notice him getting beat at all. He was with everybody. I think I pressed him multiple times, and he played really well in that first game. So the second game, I was looking at the same thing, really trying to see how Pat Pete played, as Todd Gurley ended up rushing for 31 yards there a second ago. That was a pretty good run, man. Just a dive cut to the outside. Yeah, that was easy. But going into this game, like I said, just looking at Pat Pete, seeing how he plays right here, Russell Wilson taking off on 2nd and 20, ultimately makes it a much more manageable 3rd and 7, man. We end up getting sacked on 1st and 10, and, fighting back on 2nd and 20, that sucks, man. I mean, when you get sacked on first down, it's always killer, but, luckily we did have 2 chances to go ahead and make it up. Luckily we do. So going into the second game, it started off pretty damn well. We come out 2 first downs, 1 really long run with Todd Gurley, and just like that, we're at the 11-yard line, man. 1st and 10, we decide to run a toss. Franco Harris lays a very nice block on his user, but unfortunately, I think that's Adrian Amos chasing us down from behind, ends up getting us out at the 3. But right there, Franco Harris lays another nice lead block, and we do end up getting in to make it 7-0 in this game early. pretty good first drive, man. We end up capping it off on a power play. I mean, that was pretty easy. Like I said, Franco Harris led the way, but we also have Shaq Mason as our left guard, or no, right guard, that I end up subbing in at our left guard so we can, you know, pull it that way and have him with his 86 Excel or whatever the hell type of Excel Shaq Mason has. He's one of the better pulling guards in the game, but that was just easy. You know, there was nobody there. So this guy gets back on offense, or gets on offense for the first time, I should say. And of course, he has Mike Vick and Ricky Williams, the classic combo, man. But we get him stuck in 4th and 6 pretty damn early, and there's just really nowhere for him to go. He throws it right at me, but we don't get a pick, and ultimately I think it's just overthrows everybody right there. So 1st and 10, we end up getting the ball on the 29-yard line. Beautiful starting field position. We end up running with Russell Wilson to make it 2nd and 1. Decide to run with Todd Gurley, and you know, he just fights for a couple of yards. Real easy right there to get us the first down. 1st and 10. I'm looking for Ebron in the end zone, but he runs man, so there was just really nothing there. We find Todd Gurley, and he just falls forward. That fucking fall forward glitch during the patch was insane during these gameplays, man. But again, we end up falling forward once again. We should have probably been tackled at the 2 or the 3, but instead get tackled at the 1, and then we are able to QB sneak it in to make it 14-0, and that was quick, man. 2 minutes and 58 seconds left in the second quarter. Pretty much just starting the second quarter. The guy has not done much. Got stuck in 4th down, and that was really it. You know, we ended up having an incomplete pass on 4th down, and that's all we've seen from his offense right now. So 14-0, and this dude's got to dig himself out of a tough hole as he tries to go the wheel route to Ricky Williams. That just doesn't work. You know, a lot of people run those wheel routes, man. I think I'm decent at covering them. Usually I just see him with my user and try to cover him, but sometimes people will catch me. Luckily, this guy didn't really do that all that much. This game is right there. Harrison Smith, way to knock that one out, man. I think that was Stephon Gilmore that, I mean, rarely does he get burnt, but right there I think he did, and Harrison Smith just laid the wood, and he ends up throwing it across the line, but it doesn't matter because it's intercepted by Stephon Gilmore. Ends up making up for, you know, him getting beat, I guess. I mean, he didn't ultimately let up a completion or a touchdown, but he still did get beat, but he ends up making up for it, getting the pick. We decline that penalty. 14-0. We get the ball right back. 1st and 10, rolling out to the left with Russell Wilson, taking a couple of yards, making sure we don't get hit. 60, 70 carry, whatever Russell has, the motherfucker will fumble like crazy. 2nd and 8, we do find Jerry Rice for an easy first down. That was just a nice in route, and the guy just didn't cover it very well. 1st and 10, we find Jerry Rice once again. This Jerry Rice, man, he makes the possession catches. You know, if he's open, he doesn't drop anything. I'll tell you that much. The motherfucker doesn't drop shit, but it's the stuff in traffic, you know, he doesn't make very many of those clutch type catches that Doug Baldwin and stuff does. But right now, we just continue to move down the field at the 17-yard line, 2nd and 10. We decide to go to the end zone, and I may have spoke a little bit too soon on Jerry Rice not making those clutch crazy catches, man. I mean, he does it every once in a while, but right there, that was one I rarely ever see him make. You know, I ain't shitting on Jerry Rice. You guys know I've said that card's actually played pretty decent for us. It's just at this point in the year, his overall, it's just a point where we kind of have to upgrade it. But, you know, he still makes those catches every once in a while, man. And, you know, being a 4th or 5th receiver on our team doing that, I'm fine with. So he ends up putting us up 21-0. Not much time left, you know, before half. So, I mean, I was pretty content with taking my field goal, but I just wanted to take that shot because I saw it. I think he ran cover 2, and, you know, Jerry Rice on B-Doc. I guess Jerry just had way better matchup right there because he ended up just mossing B-Doc. But just before half, the guy ends up going for it on 4th down and throwing a curl. I mean, a little bit weird, but I don't know, to each his own. I guess he wanted those couple pass yards from Mutt Masters, something like that. But he ends up getting, you know, 12 or 13 just before half on 4th down and, you know, 8 or whatever it was. So 21-0 coming out of half. Right now, if we do get the stop, we do get the 21 skunk. I'm not saying this dude will quit or anything, but that's just what it is. 21 skunk. You end up scoring 21. Guy scores nothing. You get the ball back. That's a classic skunk, man. So right now, we're trying to get that right now. And Mike Vick rolling out to the right. He's obviously looking for this wheel, and there's just nothing there. I just manned up the wheel. His first read, you could tell it was the wheel. He's really looking towards that play, and sure enough, he ends up going to Jerry Rice just above the wheel that time. I thought that was actually thrown towards the wheel, but you know, he ends up going towards Jerry Rice, and it is picked off by Desmond King. The guy just didn't really know what to do, man. I mean, he kept looking at that wheel, and then I just manned up the people on the right side. His team, they could not get off my man coverage. I mean, as soon as I got Patrick Peterson, I got way more confident in manning people up, and it showed, man. I mean, our man defense was pretty much off the chain in this fucking episode, man. But off the chain? Who still says that? 21-0. We do get 2 wins, 2 rage quit wins. Patrick Peterson's debut episode. I can say, without a doubt, that card's really good. I mean, he basically shut down that whole side of the field in that game. I mean, you guys could see. He was going towards the left side of the field in that wheel pretty much the whole time. It didn't really work. He only had, like, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes of screen time on offense. Not much time for him to really do anything. But, ultimately, man, a pretty damn good episode for Pat Pete. I hope you guys enjoyed. 2 wins, 2 rage quits. That's always good. And as always, I'm out. Peace.